crafty friends, welcome back to Crafting with the Gringas. Today we have part 2 of our Squarie pie Grinch. So I've got 4 rows of red and white for the scarf. I have 15 rows of the green. Okay, and I've got these safety eyes. Mine measures just over 3 inches, about 3 1/4 so far, by 3. So that's about the size that it ends up. And so let's see, I've got a safety eye that's slightly over a centimeter, and in inches it's just under a 1/2 inch. You can see size wise. Okay, so we're going to be placing our safety eyes between the 7th and the 8th row of the green. So you can just count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right there we're going to be placing our safety eyes in between those two. You're going to want to put them kind of close together. And so mine I'm going to be putting like this. You're going to want a little space in between because we are going to put the nose right in between those eyes. So let's add our safety eyes. And I had a little bit of a problem with my camera, and so I lost a little bit of footage, but I have my safety eyes already on. So just evenly space them. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some stuffing. You can also use yarn scraps for this, or you can use a combination of the two. Sometimes it's nice, the yarn scraps are a little heavier, so it gives it a little bit more weight. Okay, we'll probably fill it up to about there. We'll fill up a little bit more in a minute. So what we're going to do now is slip stitch closed all the way across our Grinch's head. So we're going to make it like we're going to do a single crochet, but we're not going to yarn over again. We're going to pull this loop through that last loop. Okay, and then we'll just go into the next stitch. I'm getting the front loop on the first side and the back loop on the back side. We're just going through 2 loops instead of 4. So just the front loop and the back loop only. So front loop, back loop, and slip stitch. The front loop, back loop, slip stitch, I'm just going to keep going all the way across. Okay, at this time I'm going to add a little bit more stuffing. You don't want to make sure you get stuffing in each of the corners. It doesn't have to be stuffed a ton, but you just want make sure that you pull your loop so that your project doesn't unravel as you do this step. It's amazing to me sometimes how much stuffing actually goes into some of these amigurumis. It's so funny. Like you literally could just keep stuffing them and you know, they don't seem to ever be full. And squish it down, make sure it's how you want it. And then we can continue closing that off. So front loop and then back loop. Okay, so just went through that last one. Slip stitch. And we're going to want to cut our yarn so that we have a long enough tail to weave in. And so we're just going to weave it in a little bit. You want to make sure that if you go with the stitches, let's say I pull my hook out through this spot, I'm going to want to see which way the strands of yarn go, and kind of see this one is diagonal. I'm going to place my needle into there to kind of mimic the stitch that I made, and that will help hide like how you're weaving your ends in. So right here, let's see, probably just go up to the top, and then I'm just going to pull my yarn back through the edge. If you see you get any dimples, before you can just wiggle those out with your hook or a needle, and you can cut off our end. Okay, and now we can weave in this end. So kind of can do the same, just kind of go up through the stitches. Okay, then we can cut that off. Okay, so this is what our Grinch looks like so far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit more green. We're going to find the center of our project and make a slip knot. Okay, so I've got my slip knot. I'm going to find the center and put my hook through. You should be going into the 12th and the 13th stitch. Okay, so we've got our hook. We're going to insert our hook, and then we're going to place our slip knot and pull that through. So right now I'm in the 12th stitch from this edge. I counted over 12, and then chain 1, then I'm going to chain 6. I'm not going to go through that first chain. I'm going to go into the second and single crochet, I'm going to single crochet into each of the stitches, so I should have 5 single crochets. Okay, we're going to slip stitch back into the same stitch that we went into and chain 8. Okay, I've chained 8, and I'm going to leave that first one, and I'm going to make 7 single crochets. Okay, now I'm going to go slip stitch into the next hook, so the 13th stitch. I'm going to chain 8. And again, do 7 single crochets. I'm going to slip stitch back into that 13th stitch and slip stitch, and now we're going to do 6 chains. And 5 single crochets. Okay, and one more time we're going to slip stitch into that 13th stitch and just chain 1 so we can fasten that off. And leave an end to weave in. So we can weave in these 2 in just a minute. Look how cute. Little Grinchy hair, right? So we've got some Grinch hair. Okay, now we're going to get our black. And we're going to embroider our face. Okay, we're going to want to go in through this side. And then we're going to go down here, kind of at the base of the eyes. My yarn is probably about a 4 weight. If you've got a thinner weight, you can just go over it a couple more times. I'm going to go in twice, then I'm going to come up through by the eye. And give them a little bit of a eyelash. Got a lot of stuffing coming out here with this yarn that I've chosen, huh? So I'm just gonna poking my needle through as close to that safety eye as I can get. So there's one side. So you're just going to want to try to mimic what you did on the first side. So you want to go up about through the same spots, like as close to it as you can get. Okay. Now I'm going to come back down under the nose, kind of as close to the middle of it as I can. You can kind of use your needle those need to be straightened out just a little bit. So there's that. Okay, so now I've got, since I came from here to here, so now I'm gonna and then I'm gonna go out over to about where the eye ends. Okay, so I'm going to come from about right here under the eye, and I'm going to place my needle back into that same stitch, and we're going to mimic that on the other side as well. So I want to go up like across and then kind of at where the eye ends to come out. I'm going to go back into the base. I'm just going to make a small little stitch on the side of his smile. So I've gone out here and I'm going to go through there. Now I'm going to come back up through where we inserted our where we first inserted our yarn. Like I said, it's always important that you go through, like straight through between two stitches, or like right through that hole, and make sure you don't get any of the strands or any little bits, and that makes it so that you can easily fasten it off. So I'm just going to insert my needle back through the hole that I've got my yarn coming out of, and then I can pull that up and through to the back. Okay, now I've got that knot through, and this I can just pull it through in a minute. Once you've pulled it through the back, you can cut it off. I'm going to use my hook with this one. And just even pull it all the way into the project. You don't even need to cut it off completely. And if you find that you have a little bit of color, you can always use your needle to push that farther in. Okay, hide that tail. So here's our Grinch so far. Now we're going to go back with a little bit of the green. And insert to the side. I just wanted to come on real fast. I lost the footage of me making the eyelids and the eyebrows. So I took my needle with the green yarn and I came up through here and then put it over to the middle. And then from here I passed it to the other edge and then up. And then the eyebrows, I did three rounds. And this is a 2-3 weight yarn that I used. So I just wanted to come in and explain that because I lost the footage of making that. Okay, well this is how our little cutie pie Grinch turned out. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!